Hello and welcome to Interstellar Chats. This is your host, Carlene Saelg, and I have the amazing Samantha Lotus here with us. Thank you for being here. She is a holistic master coach. She also does some human optimization. She's a natural health specialist, all the things that are so wonderful and out there and bring you together to be a complete, solid human being. So, Samantha, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I would love to just jump right in and have you maybe tell us a little bit about you, how you get started. We've actually known each other on the fringes of social media for so many years now. And it just kind of was, I don't know, kismet that we came together and we're like, hey, I'm doing a podcast and you wanted to be interviewed. It's like, perfect, let's do this. So I would love to see where we can take this as far as, interstellar chats.
I love it. Yeah, I love what you do. And it's funny, it's always that divine timing. We could be circulating around each other for years and years and years. And for some reason, the universe just said, we're going to have a conversation now. So I'm really curious and excited to see what comes out. And yeah, thank you for creating this space and having these conversations. A little bit about me is, for the longest time, I've always been obsessed with understanding the way that humans work, the way that we think, the way that we feel, the way we interact. And from a very young age, I was obsessed with understanding the challenges that people had and the breakdowns. And it didn't make sense to me why so many people seem to be sick and stressed and unhealthy and unwell. And this led to learning more about society and sociology and psychology, and then metaphysics and spirituality. And so I've been on this lifelong quest to really weave together the understandings and understandings of how our reality works so that we can optimize and really thrive as individuals and then as a collective. Because when you look around at the world, it's the time we really need this kind of message and this kind of work. So that's really what I'm excited about.
And I appreciate your work so much. Just really where, from my standpoint, I love speaking with leaders who are creating an impact, because it is so much more than just the individual becoming more of a whole, complete being, but also bringing it together in community and having the collective heal and expand and evolve, right? Don't you feel like that's the importance of it? And that's why I'm really targeting a lot of leaders like yourself, Samantha, to come into this container and really be like, hey, we've got something big to do. Let's get to work.
That's it. And this is the age of collaboration and co-creation, right? The time of I'm the best and it's all about me and it's my message and my work and my ego and my platform and my followers. That's not where we're at anymore. And we're recognizing that the way to go the furthest and the fastest is to go together. And it's way more impactful and way more fun when you do it that way.
It really is. And, I've been saying this for at least the last year, that I'm just not interested in going it alone myself, right? Because I know that I work better in a group setting with other leaders, with other people who have like discussions and experiences and can bring that discussion more texture, more depth to it, right, than just your own experience. And I love that about the way things are going, because it is so time, and I love that. So with your clients, are you seeing more of folks, or just in general, really, in your conversations, are you feeling more people are coming to you for, like, their entry point into your world is more on the health and wellness realm, or is it diving right into, I need to know more, I need to be a complete person?
That's kind of funny that, people ask me all the time, and I even coach business, and, we're really in the specialization. You must find your niche. And people come to me for everything. Sometimes they're going through a major health challenge or chronic health issue that they just can't overcome, or they feel so stuck and they just feel lost and confused and overwhelmed, or they really want to find their purpose because they're feeling unfulfilled, or they have some relationship stickiness that they want to resolve, or they're looking to step into their power. And so the common denominator is this desire for more. It's this desire to step into their power and to become, like you said, you know, that whole being or that optimized being. And so it's more of the transmutation work and the alchemizing work.
Yes.
And it's fun because it's diversified, but they're all really seeking the same thing. It's that self-development or self-actualization.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you said they're all and we all are seeking the same thing. And I think that same thing is the evolution of our species, truly, to being more multidimensional. And I speak about this so much. And I just was speaking with Kristen, our other co-host on Interstellar Chats, and also even some previous guests, how we evolve even as leaders, right? Where for myself, and I think maybe even for you, maybe we got into the online world more on the health and wellness spoke of the wheel, the life, you know, the wheel of life, if you will. But it has evolved and expanded into, I've learned so much on this journey, and I would love to share it with you. If you're feeling stuck, come on inside. Let's talk about this, right? But I also feel, and you probably are going to be in agreement with me. I kind of know that. But people come in where they feel comfortable discussing where they're stuck, right? So, and sometimes it's where they're stuck is not where they're comfortable discussing, right? Because they might just say, I'm having all these health issues, but really it's because you are so out of alignment with your life's path, your journey, your mission for what you came into this planet to achieve. And maybe you got stuck somewhere along the line and it's manifesting in your body and your body's giving you a wake-up call. What do you think?
Yes, this is it. This is the conversation. I have a very strong controversial belief that there is no such thing as a health issue. There is only an emotional issue, which stems from a mental issue, which stems from a soul out of alignment issue. And like you said, down the chain, the body expresses it. And there are various reasons, root reasons why that could happen. And one of the main ones that I've seen is that your soul is not utilizing your body for the purpose that it came to this earth to experience or to express or to achieve. And so often that looks like the work that you're doing. When people are unfulfilled in their work and they know it's not what they're meant to do, the body begins to break down because it's not in that alignment. And that's the thing I see more than anything with people that come with autoimmune conditions, thyroid conditions, rheumatoid arthritis, you know, some of these more chronic issues or fatigue, hormone imbalance. A huge factor is how are you spending your time on this earth? How are you investing your life force energy? When we shift that to come into alignment with what they're really meant to do, all these health issues just kind of fall by the wayside without even really taking care of the actual physical side.
That's true. You know what? I to be fair, I do want to say for a very long time, and it's still kind of happening, that we've been swimming in a cesspool of unhealthy foods and water and pharmaceuticals and diagnoses. And when you don't have a real true diagnosis, they label it anyway.
Yes.
Right? But we've been so closed off to that true purpose of who we are, that alignment, that even, the earthly alignment, the galactic alignment, and who you are as your soul being. When you're stuck in the mess that we've been kind of that's been put upon us, not intentionally by us, the inhabitants of the planet, but those who've been in control of those larger organizations and control of supply, whether it's food, water, pharmaceuticals, what have you. We've been poisoned for a long time. And I'm just gonna come right out and say it, right? I'm being bold here.
Well,
So
absolutely. When you look at it, and I will say, of course, there's a physical aspect, right? We have a physical body that is made of the earth. And yeah, when you look at it, every single entry point, from our soil that's been depleted to our water that's been poisoned, to the air, that all of the chemicals, the pollution, to the Wi-Fi, to the electromagnetic frequencies, all of it, the genetically modified world that we live in. Right. So absolutely, our bodies are under more pressure and toxic burden than ever before.
Right. So I love that because I do a lot of the same thing, right? I was in health coaching for almost 25 years practically, right? So doing a lot of that work. My degree is in health and wellness, just come full circle to now being 100% doing my work with clients and with community, leading retreats and workshops, all about becoming more multidimensional. But that really starts with the alignment of your soul and your purpose on this planet. And it absolutely has so much to do with your body first, right? And I love that we both kind of have come into this from that point of view of your body is your house for this time on this planet. It's your temple. So we do have to take care of it. And we go through phases with that. At least I do, right? Because right now, even for myself, I'm not in the best shape that I should be in. And I get that. And I feel it myself, even dampening my vibration sometimes. I would love for you to maybe talk about how you feel about the body's vibration in terms of wellness and being able to maybe consciously or even subconsciously getting over some of those physical aspects that are maybe keeping us in a low vibe.
Yeah, I think that's such a great question. And I'm going to kind of go back a little bit and then answer that one. You know, the entry point, and I think it's a fun little story. From when I was a little girl, I thought I was going to be a doctor of psychiatry. So I learned everything about the mind from my university and the textbooks, and all of the answers to root cause unknown, mental issue unknown, unknown, unknown. So I thought, okay, well, and that kind of led me down the body path. Well, what about the body? And then the body path led me down, well, what about the energy? And then the energy path led me back to the mind. And so I really feel like it's kind of a wheel. I don't believe that there's a beginning or an end or the right entry point, but we enter from these different points. And yet the thing underneath or through all of the points is energy, right? The way you do anything is the way you do everything. What does that mean? It's how we are being as energetic beings, how we're resonating. What is our frequency? What is our vibration? And the way that I see that is on a scale, you can call it a frequency of or different emotional states of being. I love David Rowland's map of consciousness, or David Hawkins, sorry, not David Rowland, David Hawkins' map of consciousness, where he lays out the different frequencies and vibrations with the different emotional states, the different being states. And it really breaks it down to, we have heaven frequencies, or the positive experience frequencies, and then we have hell frequencies, or the negative frequencies, like guilt, shame, blame, apathy, anger, you know, the feel not so good vibrations. And when we're operating in our programming and the way that we're feeling, the way that we're thinking and feeling and being, when we're operating in those lower frequencies, they're denser frequencies, well, our bodies are going to express naturally or attract naturally our experience of life, the experiences we're going to have and the opportunities or the people that we're going to draw to us through that law of attraction is going to be a vibrational match. Also, what our bodies express, the different symptoms, are an outpouring of the ways that we're thinking and feeling. And so I think that energy medicine is the foundational medicine beneath everything that we can do. And so if we can be aware of what we're currently experiencing, so what is my body expressing? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Where on that scale, you know, with that measure in it, how can I be aware of this? Not judge myself, not criticize myself, but have compassion, forgiveness, and then consciously choose to just take the next step up and the next step up. And that's where I believe raise our vibration. I believe it's kind of like climbing a ladder. We're consciously rising up into the vibrations of courage and love and acceptance and joy and harmony and bliss. And the more we can stay there and choose foods, peoples, experiences, opportunities that match that, the more our face changes, our body changes, our relationships change, our work, our finances, and everything comes into that alignment with the energy blueprint that we are resonating at.
Absolutely. I love that. I absolutely love that. Now, we do live in a world of duality, the light and the dark, the shadow work, the light work, right? All of these things that you're talking about. And depending on where you are as far as who you seek out to work with, like you work with more of the holistic person, right? From every angle, the wheel of life, so to speak. And someone who's maybe more just into, let's heal the shadow work, right? So there's so many different ways to go about this. And I love bringing on so many different interviews, because we speak to the audience in a way that resonates for you, but also that resonance has to be a match for the person on the other end. And if they're like, oh my God, everything, I know I've heard this a million times, but what you just said really strikes home for me. So I need to reach out. And if I was to reach out to you, how would I do that, Samantha?
That is it. And you know, what you said is so important, that I could say something a million times, and then you go and say the exact same words in the exact same way. And yet somebody is going to say, oh, that's Samantha. Don't like her at all. But this one, I have to work with her. I have to connect with her, because you know, there is a resonance there. And so I tell this to all of my clients that are looking to step into their power in business is, even though there's a million people saying the same thing, there is a place for you. There are certain people that can only hear it from you, right?
Yeah.
The teacher and the student relationship, your soulmate clients and people are out there. So for the people that resonate with me, the best place to connect with me would be on social media at Samantha_Lotus, or at my website, samanthalotus.com, or to connect with me on any channel, and just drop in, say hey, and start a conversation from there.
Excellent. We will also have all of your information in the show notes, so people can always just look below the video or the podcast and actually be able to find all your info. I'll put it there for everyone. But to bring this maybe full circle, what was your defining moment, I think, or maybe your origin story in getting you to this point where you just felt absolutely called to help other people find their alignment?
Well, I was very sick. I got very, very, very sick. And I have to say, I was probably born kind of ill, with parents that had a lot of challenges, health challenges, mental, emotional, financial. And I grew up with chronic health issues. And by the time I was 18, I had lost my menstrual cycle. I had hypothyroidism. I was prescribed antidepressants and thyroid medications, which I didn't take, but they told me I was just going to have to be on them forever. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And I just kind of got more and more sick until I was diagnosed with a type of blood cancerous situation. And anyways, it was a whole long downward spiraling journey. And when I was 26, I had what I experienced as a near-death experience. And I didn't believe in that. I was not on the woo train at all back then. You know, I only started eating vegetables in my 20s and learning about all this. So, but I had what I experienced as a near-death experience, where my whole organ system felt like it was shutting down. I felt like there was lightning that stabbing through my body. And I heard a voice outside of myself when I was in bed after I called the ambulance saying, I think I'm dying. And I heard this voice, which was my voice, outside of myself, kind of coming up from the ceiling in my bedroom. And it said, Sam, like, yes, right now you have that option. You can die. Like, this is what is technically happening, and you created it. You wanted this, you asked for it. And here it is, kind of like, do you want this, or is there another option that you're going to choose? And it shook me to my core, and it kind of made me realize I had my whole life kind of go through my mind in this unique way really quickly. And it shook me awake of, oh gosh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. And I saw how I created this. I saw all the self-sabotaging, the self-hatred, the anger, the darkness, the self-abuse. I saw all of that. And then I got to see that I had such a reason to be here. And I connected with being a child, wanting to help people and wanting to figure out the answers and to share a message with the world. And I made a decision right there, almost pleading with myself, like, please, I promise I'm going to change. I'm going to shift my life. I'm going to learn and do the things. And I ended up going to the hospital, being okay. My health started to get better from there. My life started to get better. I changed my entire life, everything, shifted everything, cut everything negative out, went on this path. And then the synchronicities and the spiritual awakening and the different powers and visions and all of that started to open for me. And since then, it has just been this dedication to empowering myself and empowering anyone that will listen to me that they truly are way more powerful and way more worthy and deserving than they've ever known.
Awesome. And that is quite a journey you've taken. What I found interesting, and this is just, I mean, you said many, many interesting points, but what I want to pull out of that was when you had your moment of near death and you heard a voice, you specifically said it was your own voice. And I love that, because when we are connected to our higher self, we tend to think the voice we're hearing is something else, and we will give our power away to thinking, oh, this is someone else saying you need to make a decision, when really truly it is you coming home to yourself and stepping into your power and saying, no, this is me, this is my higher self, my connection to source or to God or the universe or whatever you want to say, but it is absolutely you and your voice. And I think that's beautiful. I'm glad that you said it the way you did.
One of the coolest things is now in life, doing childhood regression and self-hypnosis and NLP. When I go back into that memory and I'm this version of me meeting that younger version of me, it's so full circle. I now know that I went back and I have this moment where I'm looking down at me, speaking to me, and I'm remembering when I was me hearing me. And it's this quantum, time does not exist, and realizing it's this whole beautiful quantum interplay. And it really is when I realize, like, I am my higher self guiding me, and I just need to open to that and trust that and get out of the way and clear all of these hell frequencies, I call them, lower vibrational frequencies, because I'm here for a reason. And that reason is really important, and it's the most worthy path that I could take. And I'm just so grateful that I had that and that I did.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And I love being able to do this interview to amplify your voice and my voice and the collective voice, because it is so important. And like I said, and you said, when someone hears us and they have that resonance, they will reach out to the person that is harmonic frequency that just says, I love what you said, I love your face and the light that's shooting out of your eyes, and just, all of the things that make someone magnetic or draws them to you is a real thing, because that is energy, right? And we are all made up of energy. So I love that. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Do you have any final words?
Yeah, for anyone listening that's maybe feeling stuck or a little lost or disconnected, the first thing I would want to say is that, like I said, you're just so worthy. You're so worthy of the life that you dream of your desires, of having amazing health, of having a fulfilling life. And so know that first, and take the next step. Find a mentor or do inner work, or go grab that book that people have been recommending. Like, listen to the little signs and invest in that journey, because it's going to take you on the most amazing adventure, and where you're going to end up is going to blow your mind. So definitely continue to follow this path.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, cosmic friends, for tuning into Interstellar Chats. I almost forgot the name of my podcast. Interstellar Chats. I keep wanting to say intergalactic, which is kind of the same, but we did name it Interstellar Chats. I love that I mess it up too, because it just makes this podcast so human and relatable that I mess it up nearly every time. So I have to laugh at myself. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone out there, show notes, look below. You'll find all the info you need to connect with Samantha. And thank you again for being so gracious to come on and have a chat with me today. I really appreciate you.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Oh boy.